Well, good evening, everybody. This is day 2 of the Bundled Up Theater Festival, coming to you live from Studio B6 in International Falls, Minnesota. It's a night of comedy. Our very own QICE and the classic Our Miss Brooks is ahead. It is a little spring-like, would you say, ladies, today?
Most definitely.
Most definitely. The snow, there's only about 4 feet of it left on the ground. We're so excited that things are moving forward, but we still do like being cozy this time of year, and that is precisely what we have in store for you. A Bundled Up Theater Festival. You can tell all your friends to listen at iceboxradio.org. Let's get started, shall we? Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay, and Palmolive Shave Cream for a smoother, more comfortable way to shave, bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Vicki Olson. It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks, under the direction of Jeffrey Adams. Well, like most school teachers, our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, has been exposed to her share of puppy love.
I'll say I have. It's getting so I can't look a puppy in the face without flinching. But the kids at school are nothing compared to the case I discovered at home between my landlady, Mrs. Davis, and Horace Barlow, the school's new basement custodian. Although she met him a week ago at a school tea, up until Thursday morning at breakfast, she kept denying anything but a passing interest in him.
Please, Connie, just because Horace Barlow has been over a few times is no reason for people to jump to conclusions. My goodness, Horace isn't jumping to conclusions.
At his age, Horace is lucky if he can limp to conclusions. But I've seen you two together, Mrs. Davis.
As far as I'm concerned, I think of Horace as just a real nice boy.
And he is, too. A real nice 68-year-old boy.
He happens to be 54, Connie. He told me so himself.
I know, Mrs. Davis, and Jack Benny is 39. Not that I'm criticizing your friendship. Far from it. I'm delighted that Horace is so genuinely fond of you.
Oh, Connie, Horace doesn't even know I'm alive.
Well, don't let that worry you. It's hard to tell about him most of the time.
Anyway, I'm simply not interested in anything but the most casual relationship. Heavens, if I were thinking seriously, I'd try to find out something about the man, wouldn't I?
Haven't you?
Definitely not. I'm not even mildly curious. I haven't even the slightest idea where he keeps his $10,000 life insurance policy. And I have no knowledge whatsoever of how he got his leg wounded in the Mexican War, for which he gets a $53 a month pension. I don't even know in what bank he keeps his $2,619 savings account.
Shame on you. You haven't even got his Social Security number.
It's 498265.
Oh, that's Walter Denton. He's taking me to school. I'll be right there, Walter. Now, is there anything you want me to say to Mr. Barlow for you if I happen to see him at school?
Not a thing, Connie.
Okay.
There's no necessity of even mentioning to him that I'm not busy tonight.
I see.
And there's no need for any remarks about the cake I'm baking being too big for one person to finish alone.
I'll be as silent as the tomb.
And above all, it would be utterly shameless if he were to hear that I don't want to waste the box of cigars I bought yesterday.
You can trust me implicitly, Mrs. Davis. I won't say a word to Mr. Barlow. I'll just hit him on the head and drag him home. I'm glad you picked me up early this morning, Walt. I've got an errand to do for Mrs. Davis before my first class.
I'll get you there with the speed of a gazelle, Miss Brooks. Oh, by the way, how's Miss Davis' romance with Mr. Barlow coming along?
Oh, have you noticed that, too? I think it's the cutest thing in the world. Mrs. Davis actually has a bad case of puppy love.
It's cute, considering she's in her second puppyhood. No disrespect intended, you understand. After all, what can be more romantic than two lovely old people encountering each other in this grand passion and the sere and yellow leaf of life?
Why, that's absolutely poetic, Walter.
The burning desires of youth long past, they look now for the subdued glow of companionship, the warm and simple pleasures that two elderly people in love can share together.
I can see them now, soaking their feet in the same pan of Epsom salts.
I bet you'd like to find romance at that age, Miss Brooks.
At the rate I'm going now, I'm counting on it. But, Walter, I'd just as soon you don't mention the subject at school. It might be a source of embarrassment to Mr. Barlow.
My trap is sealed, Miss Brooks. Now, what's the errand you're going to do for Mrs. Davis this morning?
Well, off the record, I'm going to invite Mr. Barlow over to the house tonight. He's been a little backward about asking for a date.
I get it. You're Mrs. Davis's John Alden. Now all you got to do is get Mr. Barlow to invite Mr. Boynton over, and you're all set.
Meeting's adjourned.
Hi, Miss Brooks. You're pretty early today, aren't you?
Hello, Harriet. I've got to deliver a message to the custodian. Have you seen him?
Oh, yes. Mr. Barlow just went into his office. Isn't it wonderful, Miss Brooks?
I don't know. I've never been in his office.
I mean about Mr. Barlow and Miss Davis. They're crazy about each other. Of course, it's a big secret.
It couldn't be a bigger secret if they took out an ad.
Is there anything more romantic than the mellow romance of old age?
Oh, now please, Harriet.
To think that two people finding love at a time of life when others are preparing to pass on, two people walking hand in hand in the twilight of life.
Yes, there's nothing like a brisk walk before passing on.
Well, I won't keep you any longer. Far be it from me to delay Mrs. Davis, emissary of love. Good luck on your mission, Miss John Alden.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Come in.
I hope I'm not disturbing you, Mr. Barlow, but there's something I wanted to ask you.
Well, then go ahead and ask. You want to get apples, you got to shake the tree. Well, what is it?
Well, it's just this. I was wondering if tonight, that is, if you haven't any other plans. Mrs. Davis isn't doing anything, and I'm sure she'd be pleased if you'd wanted to drop over.
Well, that's right neighborly. Would you like me to drop over?
Of course. I'm sure you and Mrs. Davis will have a lovely evening together.
Are you planning on staying in, Miss Brooks?
Well, I suppose so, Mr. Barlow, but I'm sure that at your age you don't need any chaperone.
You're right about that. Maybe we could send Mrs. Davis to a movie.
Sent Mrs. Davis to a movie.
Oh, there's no sense in my trying to hide it any longer. Why, the only reason I've been coming around to Mrs. Davis's place is to be near you.
Near me? But you've been making dates with Mrs. Davis.
Well, naturally. You got to slip the drones a little honey if you want to get next to the queen bee.
You, Mr. Barlow, are barking up the wrong hive. Well, this is ridiculous. I simply can't believe it's even happening.
Oh, I couldn't believe it myself. I just couldn't understand the feeling that swept over me when I first saw you, Miss Brooks. In fact, since that first time, I've had my glasses changed twice, but it's still the same. I keep asking myself, where have you been all my life?
Well, for 3/4 of it, I wasn't even born. Look, Mr. Barlow, there is a great difference in our ages.
Oh, nonsense, Miss Brooks. I don't believe in age.
Well, neither do I. I've been standing it off for years. I mean, if you'll think this over for a while, you'll realize that it just couldn't work out.
Oh, why not? Hey, is there somebody else playing piano in your front parlor?
No, but Mr. Boynton plays the ukulele on my back porch. We've been going together for quite a while now.
Oh, you mean that biology fella? Oh, shucks, he's just an unsophisticated kid. Why, you couldn't warm him up if you stuck a Bunsen burner under him.
You've been peeking. That is, Mr. Boynton is just shy about expressing his feelings.
He ain't got no feelings if you ask me. Leastwise, not like I have. Especially since I met you. Why, I just knew today was going to bring some excitement into my life. I got the strangest sensation right after breakfast.
Maybe something fell into your gruel.
No two ways about it, sis. I'm smitten.
Well, would it unsmit you if I told you I'm engaged to Mr. Boynton?
Engaged? But he wasn't even over at your place the night I visited Mrs. Davis.
Well, he must have been working. If you come over tonight, I'm sure he'll be there.
What? Seeing is believing. I'll drop by, Miss Brooks. But I still say when it comes to your bringing me messages from Mrs. Davis, well, speak for yourself, John Alden.
There's no use talking. These man-tailored suits have got to go.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream, it cleans your your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
Colgate toothpaste.
Cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth, and the Colgate Way stops tooth decay best. Yes, the Colgate Way is the most thoroughly proved and accepted home method of oral hygiene known today. Over 2 years, research showed brushing teeth right after eating with Colgate Dental Cream helped stop more tooth decay for more people than ever reported in dentifrice history. The Colgate Way stopped tooth decay best. No other dentifrice, and ammoniated or not, offers such conclusive proof. And you should know that Colgate, while not mentioned by name, was the only toothpaste used in the research on tooth decay recently reported in Reader's Digest. So always allow the Colgate Way to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and stop tooth decay best.
Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate Dental Cream. It cleans your breath.
What a toothpaste.
While it cleans your teeth.
And the Colgate Way stops tooth decay best.
Well, I was quite chagrined to find out that Horace Barlow was more interested in me than he was in Mrs. Davis. This was one triangle I was determined would not be eternal, not even overnight. Therefore, at lunchtime, I headed for Mr. Boynton's table in the cafeteria. But just as I got halfway to it... Oh, Mr. Conklin! I'm terribly sorry, sir.
You're slipping, Miss Brooks. You only knocked 2 dishes off my tray today.
I guess I didn't watch where I was going.
Obviously. When you do, you get the whole tray.
Well, luckily nothing happened to your apple pie. The plate is broken, but the pie is intact. Here.
Thank you. Even more luckily, nothing seems to have gotten on my clothes.
No, sir, and I've never seen you look so neat. White carnation and all.
I spoke too soon. That's vanilla ice cream.
Oh, this never would have happened, sir, but I'm terribly preoccupied today.
This must be Preoccupied Day at Madison High. I've had nothing but trouble with our new school custodian for the same reason.
You mean Mr. Barlow?
Yes, he forgets about the furnace. He forgets about to fix the pipes. The old goat acts as if he was in love.
Maybe he is in love.
But who could a 7-year-old codger be in love with?
He happens to be 54.
Yes, and Jack Benny is 39. Horace Barlow in love. At his age, he probably can't tell the difference between a woman and a kangaroo.
Oh, probably not. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll be hopping off to lunch. No doubt I'll run into you later in the day, Mr. Conklin.
It is with that thought in mind that I carry every possible form of accident and hospitalization insurance. Good day, Miss Brooks.
Good day, Mr. Conklin. He's got a lot of nerve. Just because a person's lived a few more years than some other person.
I'm not like one to interrupt, Miss Brooks, but if you keep talking to yourself, you'll make an eavesdropper out of me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Walter. I've had a little shock this morning. You see, I spoke to Horace Barlow a short time ago about making a date with Mrs. Davis.
What'd he say?
Well, he said he's not interested in Mrs. Davis. He's smitten with someone else.
Somebody else? But he can't do that to Mrs. Davis. She's a very sensitive little lady, and she's nuts about him. She'll be terribly hurt.
That's what I'm afraid of.
He doesn't know when he's well off. I'd like to see the hunk of crow bait he's fallen for.
Now, just a minute, Walter. It so happens that Mr. Barlow thinks he's in love with me.
With you? But that's illegal. It's unthinkable. It's,
let's just call it unusual. Actually, Walter, I'm extremely worried about the situation. Mrs. Davis and I have been friends for too long to let a thing like this come between us.
Well, why don't you just tell Barlow to go peddle his papers?
I did, practically. I even told him I was engaged to Mr. Boynton. That's what I'm worried about. They're both coming over tonight, and I've got to prove it.
Well, what's so tough about that? I'm sure Mr. Boynton will cooperate.
You are?
Sure. For one night.
Oh.
Now, the next thing you gotta do is get Mrs. Davis out of the house tonight. 'Cause if she caught you and Mr. Boynton acting as if you were engaged, she'd know something was rotten in Denmark.
What a sweet way to put it. But, Walter, how do I get Mrs. Davis out of the house?
Well, easy. There's an old bachelor friend of my dad's staying at the house for a couple of days, Mr. Gordon. I'm sure he'd like a date with a nice clean-cut character like Mrs. Davis, and I'll ask her to go out with him as a favor to my folks.
Well, what about Mr. Barlow? She expects him tonight.
Well, just tell her he couldn't make it. Say his blood pressure hit a new high or something, and now you go call Mr. Boynton, and I'll go home and make sure Mr. Gordon's available to act as Davis bait for the evening. See you later, Miss Brooks.
All right, Walter, and thanks. Me and the night and the music. Da 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 da. Oh, Mr. Boynton, I've got to talk to you right away.
Oh, what's wrong, Miss Brooks?
It's about Mrs. Davis. You know she's got a crush on the school custodian, Mr. Barlow, but unfortunately he's head over heels in love with someone else.
Oh, please, Miss Brooks, don't make me laugh while I'm drinking coffee. Mr. Barlow's an old man. What kind of shriveled-up prune could he fall for?
Why does it have to be a prune? For all you know, Mr. Barlow could be crazy about a nice, young, firm, fuzzy peach. Besides, he's only 48.
Oh, he's 70 at least, and not what you'd call in prime condition. Why, his hyperthyroidism is apparent, and his incipient arterial sclerosis masking cardiac decompensation was evident to me after one glance.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't take a second glance. He'd be a goner. The truth is, Mr. Boynton, that Mr. Barlow has been coming to our place just to be near me. Oh, well, if I'd known you were going to get so excited, I'd have worn my raincoat. Here, use this napkin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Brooks, but I couldn't help exploding. You mean to tell me Mr. Barlow is in love with you?
That's right. We hyperthyroids have to stick together. Look, Mr. Boynton, I know it's an absurd situation, but my only real concern is Mrs. Davis. I have got to discourage Mr. Barlow once and for all, and you have got to help me.
Me? What can I do?
Well, he's coming over to our place tonight. I invited him on behalf of Mrs. Davis. Oh, that's when he told me how he felt about me, and that's when I told him something utterly fantastic.
What did you tell him?
That you and I were engaged to be married. Here's the napkin.
Engaged to be married? But, Miss Brooks, that's utterly fantastic.
Oh, I'm glad I said it first. Don't you see, Mr. Boynton, this is very important to someone who is very important to me. Mrs. Davis is just about the best friend I've got.
Well, if that's the case, Miss Brooks, I guess the least I can do is cooperate.
Will you really, Mr. Boynton?
Sure, for one night.
Oh.
Oh, boy, I'm full. That was a very fine dinner, Miss Brooks.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, Mr. Boynton. I opened it all by myself. I hope Mr. Gordon took Mrs. Davis to a nice place for dinner. He appears to be a jolly old fellow, doesn't he?
Yes, indeed, and I noticed he gave you a pretty thorough once-over when you were introduced. You seem to pack quite a wallop for these elderly Joes.
Oh, that's me, the Cleopatra of the cardiac cases. Oh, but I've got to clear away these dishes. Mr. Barlow will be over any minute.
Well, if that's the case, shouldn't we be getting into the mood?
The mood?
Well, yes, we're supposed to be engaged, aren't we?
Oh, that mood! Oh, why, Mr. Boynton, I can hardly believe my ears.
Why? There's no sense making a chore out of this thing. We might as well have some fun doing it.
Fun doing it?
Why, certainly. Now, let's get started.
Get started?
Well, the quicker the better.
Quicker the better?
Of course. Well, come on.
Come on? I mean, come on.
Well, sure. You wash and I'll dry.
So much for the hopes of Connie Brooks, girl dreamer. Look, Mr. Boynton, working in the kitchen is the way married people would get into the mood. Engaged couples do their work in the parlor with soft lights.
Okay, we'll take a big basin of water and do the dishes in the parlor.
Sometimes I wish you were ugly. Come on, Mr. Boynton, I'll attend to the dishes later. Let's sit down in the living room,
All right, Miss Brooks. It isn't too healthy to commence working too soon after a meal, anyway.
Oh, that must be Mr. Barlow. Just make yourself comfortable. I'll let him in.
Well, here I am, Brooksy. Fit as a fiddle and twice as musical.
Come in, Mr. Barlow.
Okay.
I fixed a little dinner this evening for my fiancé. We've just finished eating it. Follow me, won't you?
Your fiancé? Then you mean you actually...
Hello, darling. Did you miss me?
Miss you?
I hated to leave you alone for so many seconds, but I just had to let Mr. Barlow in. You remember Mr. Barlow, don't you, dear?
Oh, of course. How are you, Mr. Barlow?
Snappy as a cookie and twice as full of ginger. But let's get to the point here. Miss Brooks here told me that you two are engaged. Is that true?
Well, yes. Yes, it is.
Well, then how come nobody around school's heard anything about it?
Because we wanted it that way. We've been secretly engaged for over 6 months now, haven't we, darling?
We certainly have, Miss Brooks.
Miss Brooks? Why does he call you Miss Brooks if you're going to be engaged? You're going to be married.
He doesn't like any display of affection in front of company. Let's sit down, shall we? Mr. Barlow, draw up a chair, won't you? And, sweetheart, you draw up a chair and we'll sit down.
On the same chair, but Miss Brooks, I worked out with the basketball team yesterday, and my knees are a little weak.
It may be foul, but I'll never get a shot like this again. Sit down, dear. There we are. Comfy.
Yeah.
Seems mighty strange to me. Most engaged folks I've seen act a little more demonstrative than you two do.
Oh, but we're mad for each other, aren't we, darling?
Yeah, mad.
You know, dearie, you haven't kissed me in 5 minutes.
What?
I said you haven't kissed me in 5 minutes. What are we going to do about that?
Let's wait another 5, huh?
Oh, what's the matter, darling? You want to kiss me, don't you?
Maybe it's me, Miss Brooks.
Oh, no, I'm positive he doesn't want to kiss you. Oh, you mean he doesn't want to kiss me in your presence? Oh, I'm sure that wouldn't stop my great big handsome lover boy, would it, dearest?
Well, certainly not. Give me your cheek. There.
Wow. Now how about one to get me down off the ceiling?
Maybe I ought to go.
Oh, but Mr. Barlow, you just got here.
Well, I know, but won't I be interrupting something?
Well, only if you go. I mean, stick around a little while longer. I'll see who it is. Don't move, either of you.
Sorry to disturb you, Connie, but I forgot my key again.
Oh, Mrs. Brooks, what are you doing home so early? Well, here, let me help you off with your coat and eyeglasses.
Mr. Gordon showed me the most wonderful time, Connie, but he has a business appointment first thing in the morning, so we had to cut our date a bit short. Oh, who's that in the living room?
Oh, that's Mr. Boynton.
Oh, I see. And who's the man in the other chair?
That's Mr. Boynton, too. He's awfully restless tonight.
Oh, now I see who it is. It's Mr. Barlow. But you told me he wasn't coming over tonight.
Well, he must have changed his mind. Listen, Mrs. Davis, when two people have a beautiful friendship, they've got to do everything in their power to keep it from breaking up, right?
Let's talk later, dear. I've got to get these shoes off at once. Mr. Gordon just danced my tootsies into a stupor. He's a wonderful man, Connie. That's why I want you to do me a little favor.
A favor?
Yes, when you go back into the living room.
Well, what do you want me to do, Mrs. Davis?
Brush off that other old creep, will ya?
You mean Mr. Barlow?
Yes, I haven't the heart to hurt his feelings.
Well, it'll save a lot of explanations, I guess, but I know I'm going to get 2 birds with 1 stone.
What do you mean, Connie?
Oh, as soon as the old duck is gone, my little lovebird will take off like a wounded pelican.
Victoria Olson as our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment, but first...
The Case of the Clothes Scrape, featuring John W. Baker, Justice of the Peace. Here's what Mr. Baker told us. Listen.
Here's exactly what happened. Shaving was just one close scrape after another for me, and then I discovered Palmolive lather shave cream and a new different way to shave. Palmolive's oceans of rich, thick lather ended my worries about scrapes, burns, and nicks. Why, even in cold or hard water, that Palmolive lather way is super smooth, super comfortable.
Well, take John W. Baker's advice, men. The new Palmolive Lather Way gets beards really soft, and it provides a protective film that actually floats your razor's cutting edge. You get a close, clean shave every time, without worry about scraping or nicking, even in cold or hard water. John W. Baker and 1,200 men tested Palmolive lather cream following package directions, and 3 out of 4 reported smoother, more comfortable shaves, the Palmolive Shave Cream Way, no matter how they shaved before. Remember, even in cold or hard water, the Palmolive Lather Way means smoother, more comfortable shaves.
And once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, I told Mr. Barlow that Mrs. Davis had returned home with a bad headache, and he left the house after threatening to call her up very soon. Then, as I was about to barricade the door against Mr. Boynton's next move, he addressed me.
Well, I'm sorry Mrs. Davis doesn't feel well, Miss Brooks. Is she lying down in her room?
Yes, she is, Mr. Boynton.
Well, that leaves just the two of us, doesn't it?
Yes, but don't be nervous. It's much too early for you to think of leaving.
Oh, I'm not thinking of leaving, Miss Brooks. You and I still have plenty of unfinished business to attend to.
Unfinished business?
Well, certainly.
You and I?
That's right. After all, somebody's got to get those dinner dishes. Why don't you wash and I'll dry?
Better still, you wash and dry. I've got another engagement.
Another engagement?
Sure. If I hurry, I can catch Mr. Barlow before he gets on the bus.
This has been our Miss Brooks, starring Victoria Olson, featuring Jim Young, Steve Windells, Cody Boyer, Autumn Silvers, and Diane Adams, and Jeffrey Adams. Part one of our evening this evening of the Icebox Radio Theater. We're going to have QICE Radio North coming up in just a little bit. We're going to take a short intermission right now. I want to remind everybody that after the show tonight, we will be staying on YouTube and on Mixlr for a little Q&A. Give us a call at 218-283-5570. I should say text that number if you have a question, and cast and crew will be sticking around to answer all of your questions then. This is the Bundled Up Theater Festival coming to you live from International Falls, Minnesota. Now, a short intermission. Like what you've heard so far? Would you like to learn more, lend a hand, or even become a part of these broadcasts? Then the Icebox Radio Theater has a deal for you. It's membership. As a nonprofit organization, the Icebox Radio Theater needs listeners like you to help us run things. And starting at just 10 tax-deductible dollars per year, IBRT memberships are a great way to show your support and have a say in the theater's future. Many different membership levels are available with special gifts offered at each level, so be sure to check out our website at iceboxradio.org to learn more. Once you join, you'll have access to our website's special members page with tons of great content, including top-quality recordings of all IBRT plays, free scans of production-used scripts, Iceboxer biographies, bloopers, pictures, and more. And best of all, you'll be helping quality audio theater stay on the air. Membership in the IBRT makes a great gift, so visit iceboxradio.org to learn more about becoming a member today. That's iceboxradio.org. Once upon a time, in the far, far north of the United States of America, there was a small radio station nobly fighting against the tide of change as their very existence seemed to fade into the azure distance. But from the new, exciting, and largely dangerous world of the Internet came a ray of hope. A young man named Gary brought this station a future from the most unlikely of sources. The Icebox Radio Theater presents QICE Radio North. Tonight's episode:
There. I think that's got it.
Yeah.
Now hand me the plaque and we'll see how it looks. There. I think that looks really nice, Gary. Well, what? Wrong spot?
No, the spot is fine. It's beautifully hung.
Beg your pardon?
I said it's a nice plaque.
Okay, a nice plaque. Is that all you have to say?
What? It is nice.
It's more than nice. Look, according to this lettering, etched in gold, by the way.
Actually, I think it's brass.
According to this lettering, my husband is the best audio producer of the year. Horror, fantasy, and dark science fiction category for programs 30 minutes or longer.
It's a very select group, you know. I think everyone who's eligible could fit into a single booth at Denny's.
Now, Gary.
Not that any of us could afford to eat at Denny's.
Gary.
What? Why are you yelling at me?
You're moping.
Well, that's no reason to yell. Heck, moping is a pretty good reason not to yell.
When you got the news about this award, you were over the moon. But ever since the plaque arrived, you've been moping around like they sent you a box of dirty underwear.
Well, that's quite an image.
Indeed. Now give. What's up with you?
Nothing.
Don't you like the plaque?
I'm fine with the plaque. It's a very nice award.
Did they spell your name wrong? Send you the wrong size t-shirt? What?
It's nothing.
Sweetheart, we've been married 10 years, right?
Yeah.
In all that time, have you ever known me to give up on something like this?
Not that I can remember.
Then why don't you just save us both a lot of trouble and give in now? Tell me, what is wrong?
When I know, you'll be the first
Gary!
Fine. Look, it's not, it doesn't make any sense. I don't make any sense.
Well, I know that.
Ever since I got that plaque, I haven't been able to shake the feeling that I'm wasting my life.
Same old feeling, huh?
Ouch.
Your words, not mine.
Well, maybe so, but ouch.
Okay, I rescind the comment, but not the thought. You have been prone to moping recently.
Mope prone.
And it's usually some variation of this. Always the same question.
What do I want to do when I grow up?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I guess I was just hoping this would be more somehow.
You mean the award?
Well, yes.
More what, exactly?
I don't know. That's the problem. You realize this is the height of my profession? Short of a spoken word Grammy, which I don't even know how to sign up for, the Golden Mic is the best I'll ever do as a podcaster. Ever.
I see your point.
I hate my point. I wish my point would shut up and quit being so clear.
Oh, Gary.
I'm sorry. I'll quit moping.
No, don't bother. I think I'll join you.
Bill, what's wrong? You sound really... Oh, hello.
Hello. Yeah, I should explain.
You're not just plain Bill.
Yes, I like to think of myself as extraordinarily fancy Bill.
What?
It's a little joke. I apologize.
Where's Bill?
Well, Bill asked me to take over his show while he goes fishing.
Oh? Well, that does sound like him.
I am Riley Cobalt.
Really?
Oh, you've heard of me?
Not at all. It's just a rather unusual name.
Well, so's Glory Montag.
Point taken.
You are Glory Montag, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, Bill said you were a vision of loveliness, and he did not lie.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Riley, was it?
Riley Cobalt. radio expert, ham license holder, and audio artiste. I can write, direct, record, and engineer. Anything to do with sound, I'm your man. I'm at your service, madame.
Well, can you DJ?
I'm learning fast.
Learning? How much experience have you had?
10 years behind the mic. Just, you never at an actual radio station. See, I'm a podcaster.
Oh, like Gary.
Gary?
Gary Shepard. He works here. Or maybe he volunteers. I can never remember.
All right. Gary Shepard, Black Mass Theater. I know it well. I, myself, am creator, producer, and artistic director of the In Your Earium.
The what?
The In Your Earium. It's an audio drama podcast, just like Black Mass. We were 4-time winners of the Golden Mike Award.
Wow. That's good.
That's excellent. We had quite a streak going until this year.
Oh, what happened this year?
The committee thought it best to honor one of the more inexperienced groups, just to give the kids taste of greatness, something to shoot for, as it were.
Oh, I see. So, one question.
Yes?
Why exactly are you here?
Well, I told you to replace Bill while he's gone fishing.
Oh, right. So you're from town?
I live nearby, yes.
Nobody lives nearby. You either live in town or you live 3 hours away. That's Icebox.
Well, I wanted a little vacation, get away from the big city, enjoy life along a pristine lake.
So when you said you lived nearby, you meant...
Bill's house. I'm staying with him while he fishes.
Oh, so you know Bill.
Oh, sure. We go way back.
Oh, that's nice.
I remember the first time we emailed. It was about a week ago.
Well, so long as his show gets covered and you remember to play all the commercials.
Oh, of course. This is easy.
Well, I should hope so, though it seems to me you should start another song.
What?
We've had dead air for a couple of minutes now.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, I'm just learning.
Right. Well, please learn that dead air is bad, won't you?
Oh, I will. Absolutely.
As long as you're here, you should get together with Gary and put on one of those little plays together. It'd be fun.
Oh, I have every intention of getting together with Gary while I'm here. Yes. I'll be getting together with Gary very soon. Very soon indeed.
So I'll be going then.
Right. Sorry.
Sherry?
Just a second. I'm on the phone.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, is that Bill?
Yeah, I'll tell him.
Let me talk to Bill.
Take care now and good luck.
Excuse me, I said I wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, but he didn't want to talk to you.
Well, how do you know?
He left specific instructions. No glory conversations.
Well, I'm giving you a direct order to call him back.
Can't do that.
Why not?
Bill gave me $100 not to. And I'm not supposed to let you know where he is either.
Where is he?
Paris, France.
Oh. Are you lying?
Maybe. Why don't you call Paris and find out?
I'll do that in a minute.
Of course you will.
First, what is this about Bill going fishing?
He goes fishing every year at this time. 2 weeks vacation, remember?
Oh.
He goes up to Copper Lake and hunts Lord Byron.
He does what?
It's this legendary lake trout up there in Canada, supposed to be 36 inches long. Bill's been going up trying to catch that fish for 15 years.
Oh. I want to stop talking about this because it's not interesting.
Okay.
I was in the studio just now and I met Bill's substitute.
Odd little fellow, isn't he?
Do you know anything about him?
Not really. From Hollywood, I guess.
Hollywood, really?
Well, Bakersfield. That's close to Hollywood, isn't it?
Hollywood. I had no idea.
Apparently, he just called up Bill and asked if he could help with the show. Pure dumb luck it was right before Bill's vacation.
Huh. Do you know he produces audio theater thingies like Gary?
Not just like Gary. Gary's are a lot better.
Really? Do you listen to that stuff?
Sure. Bill got me into it. I like all these kids with their radio shows now. But Gary's Black Mass stuff, that's my favorite.
Oh. Well, what sort of shows does Riley make?
Who?
Riley Cobalt, the Hollywood producer that's replacing Bill.
That's really his name? Wow. Well, He likes to do what they call fanfic. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. If there's a man, that little guy's done 'em.
What?
Superhero, I mean. And Star Wars, Star Trek, James Bond, whoever you want, he's done a version of all those shows. Must be a couple of 100 episodes up on his website.
Oh, so he gets big stars to be in his shows?
I kind of doubt it. In his last Star Trek, Spock had a Texas accent.
Still. Hollywood.
You all right, Glory?
Yes, I was just thinking about something. Sherry, make sure Mr. Cobalt has everything he needs during his stay.
Okay. Any idea what he might need?
I don't know. What does Bill generally need to do the show?
Coffee with a finger of whiskey in it. Or sometimes whiskey with a finger of coffee in it.
All right. Make sure Mr. Cobalt has good coffee with our finest scotch.
We have fine scotch.
Oh, Bill does. I'm pretty sure you know where he hides it.
Well, yeah, but he gave me that $100.
Fine, I'll go buy some myself. Just treat Mr. Cobalt with the utmost respect.
I thought you wanted me to treat him like Bill.
Well, better than Bill. He's a big Hollywood producer, and we want to impress him. I'm off to the liquor store.
She'd better be if she wants me to start being respectful to people.
Okay, this is right. This is what I have to do.
You know, the traditional view that talking to yourself is a sign of mental illness is completely fraudulent. We all do it all the time, after all.
Who's there?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I forgot your eyes weren't as used to the dark as mine. There. Better?
Who are you?
You don't remember me?
Should I know you?
Does the name Riley Cobalt ring a bell?
Well, sure. The Inurium, right? Well, wait a minute. You're Riley Cobalt?
So you have heard of me.
You can't be Riley Cobalt.
What?
Inurium is produced out in California. If you're Riley Cobalt, what are you doing here, Cobalt?
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, you could, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
And why not?
Because I work here, or, well, volunteer, I guess. Honestly, I've kind of lost track.
Quite a coincidence. I work here too.
You do?
Yeah, I'm Bill's replacement while he goes fishing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying myself. I'm thinking of maybe finding a place to stay and staying in an icebox.
Really?
Worried about competition?
Well, no. Just wondering why any writer would choose to live in icebox over California.
Tinseltown holds little allure for me these days.
I thought you were from Bakersfield.
The point is, I'm thinking of moving out here. How does that make you feel?
Well, confused.
Does it make you feel threatened? Like your turf has been invaded? Like your soul has been ripped open for the whole world to stare at and mock?
I'm going to go with no on that one.
Because that's how I felt, Shepard. That's how I felt when you took what was mine.
What?
You're a thief.
What? How could I steal anything that belonged to you? I've never even been to California.
You stole my dreams, my hopes. Inurium was right on the edge of something big, and now it's all gone away.
What are you talking about?
Gary?
Gary? Ganging up on me, huh?
Of course not. Lynn, what are you doing here?
It's 2 a.m. Why did you come down to the station?
I had to do something.
Something nefarious, no doubt.
Oh! Hello?
Hello yourself. You're Lynn Shepard. I recognize your voice.
Oh, well, thank you. I've never had my voice recognized before.
Lynn, this is Riley Cobalt. He's another audio producer from California.
Really? Well, what's he doing here?
Not sure. It sounds like I inadvertently stole his soul.
He did.
He did?
My soul, my hopes, my dreams.
Is this guy crazy?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So why exactly are you here?
I woke up and you weren't in the house. I played a hunch.
That I was at the station? Yeah, good hunch.
I was worried about you.
Wait a minute. Is he suicidal? Oh, that's perfect.
You are a creepy little man, and you need to be quiet now.
Oh, what are you going to do about it? I eat voice actors like you for breakfast.
Really?
Yes, so you better behave yourself, little missy, or you're going to find it...
I said, time to be quiet now.
Lynn, what are you doing?
I told you, he's a creepy little man. He seemed to take pleasure in the idea of you killing yourself.
Yeah, but what are you doing to him?
Oh, basic chokehold. Turns out a lot of those assault defense techniques I learned in college make pretty good offensive techniques, too.
Well, don't kill him.
Why not?
Well, it seems unnecessary, I guess.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Now behave yourself.
I'm going to sue you for that.
Keep quiet or I'll introduce you to advanced self-defense.
What on earth is going on out here?
Glory, what are you doing here?
I own the station, Gary. I can be here at night if I want to.
Yeah, but it's 2 a.m.
Well, as it happens, I was working on a project. Something I've been putting off for a long time, and I think the quiet of nighttime would help me think.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to hear about the project?
Not really. I think we should be going.
Wait, what are you doing here?
Yes, what are you doing here, Gary?
And why is Lynn here?
I came after Gary. I woke up and he was gone.
Well, why is he here?
That's what I want to know.
Oh!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Cobalt, I'm sorry. I didn't see you sitting there.
It's all right. I was just over here quietly bleeding.
Well, why are you here? Bill's show was this morning.
Doing a little research.
Oh, really? Are you looking for anything in particular? A new screenplay, perhaps?
What?
All right. That's it.
What's it?
I am done playing What's My Line? Would someone please explain to me what's going on?
Who said anything was going on?
You always spend a lot of time at the station after midnight working on screenplays?
How did you... what screenplay?
Right. And you, Mr. Cobalt, do you usually sit in the station lobby in the dark like a supervillain waiting for Gary?
Waiting for Shepard? That's a ridiculous idea.
Then why were you here?
I'm prepping tomorrow's show.
In the dark?
It's on night fishing.
In an easy chair, which, if I don't miss my guess, you dragged in here from the conference room.
Night fishermen like to be comfortable.
I want to know why you're here, Cobalt.
Oh, you can't threaten me.
Clampy!
Oh, all right, fine. I won 4 golden microphones in a row.
Solid gold?
It's an award, Glory. Best audio producer.
And that was me. Last 4 years running. This was going to be one for the thumb. It was supposed to be our triumph. I took out an ad in Variety and everything.
Really?
And then this small town hick with his little haunted house show, he stole it from me.
Gary, you didn't.
Well, I got an award. I told you, remember?
I didn't realize it was Mr. Cobalt's award. I'm so sorry, Mr. Cobalt. I'll make sure it's returned to you immediately.
He didn't steal anything, Glory.
Did too.
What Mr. Cobalt is trying to say is that instead of winning his 5th golden microphone this year, the judges or the committee or whoever awarded it to Gary.
Oh, I see.
It's completely unfair. This year's was our best show in years, a Spider-Man Star Wars mashup with a cameo appearance by the Cullen family from Twilight.
Actually, that does sound pretty good.
Right? Everyone thinks so. That award should be mine.
Well, take it.
What?
What?
I've decided. I'll withdraw from the award this year. You just take the plaque, take everything. You can have your name etched over mine.
Gary?
Well, that's why I came down here tonight, Lynn. I was here to take the plaque down off the wall.
What? Why?
Because I'm done. I'm finished. Black Mass Theater is finished. We've been doing these shows for years now, and the best I can hope for is a few dozen listeners here in town and maybe 100 on the podcast. There's no big-time contracts. There's no 6-figure distribution deals. All I had to look forward to was winning a golden mic, and now I've done that. And well, you know what? It's not enough. It's not enough to keep going.
Oh, Gary. Are you sure?
Here, Cobalt. I'll turn on the light, and you can take my plaque. Huh. What? It's gone.
What?
My plaque. I hung it right there on the wall, and it's gone. Glory, did you touch this?
I didn't even know we had an award wall. Wow, we belong to the Chamber of Commerce?
Where is it, you little sneak?
Are you looking at me?
Where's my award?
Wait a minute. Weren't you just going to give it to me?
Did you take it?
No, I never touched it.
Hey, Lynn.
Yes?
Is this how you do that choke thing?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I think he's finally calmed down.
I'm sorry.
Well, you should be. He's very upset. And you know how sensitive these Hollywood types are.
Glory, we keep telling you he's not from Hollywood.
Bakersfield, then. And this might be a wonderful opportunity for this station.
How?
Okay, it might be a wonderful opportunity for me.
He's not a movie producer. He produces audio.
Well, maybe I can break into audio.
Why would you do that in California when you have an audio group right here at the station?
Well, for one thing, I thought there wasn't an audio group here as of about an hour ago.
Gary?
I don't know.
See?
Honey, you have got to quit flip-flopping on this. 1 minute you're packing it in, the next you're trying to kill a man for stealing your plaque.
I know. Look, I was all ready to quit, and then everything went black.
Well, you're lucky I don't fire you.
I don't actually work here?
That's the reason I'm not firing you. Do you think you've got it together enough to apologize?
I'm sorry.
I mean apologize to Mr. Cobalt.
What does it matter? Sure.
Wonderful. Just a moment. It's safe to come out, Mr. Cobalt.
No.
Please, Gary's really sorry.
Well, I don't trust the wife either. They both want to kill me.
We're sorry, Mr. Cobalt. We want to apologize.
Well, okay, but just keep your distance. And I didn't steal your stupid plaque.
Stupid plaque? I thought you had 4 of them.
Well, I do, but those are mine. Yours are stupid.
Okay. Gary, you had something you wanted to say?
I'm sorry for getting upset and trying to choke you. It's got nothing to do with you. I'm just going through a lot of stuff at the moment. I'm sorry.
And Lynn?
Oh, I was upset too. Sorry.
Great. Now that we're all a happy family again, I wonder, Mr. Cobalt, if you've thought about your next project.
Oh, I'm always thinking about my next project.
Very professional, yes. Do you have a script?
Well, not just yet. See, my usual writer went out for track, so he's a little short on time at the moment.
He went out for what?
Track. He's a shot putter at the Riverside Middle School.
Yes, but you have an idea, right?
Oh, yeah. A Superman meets Dracula on the ship from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's original.
Oh, you know the half of it. See, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Bela Lugosi Dracula, only pretend he's been hanging out with the Twilight vampires, and now he's in the Caribbean to see if he can develop the power to sparkle.
Or what about this? The story of a single mother struggling to make it as an artist while caring for her handicapped daughter who keeps an upbeat attitude despite being confined to 2 separate wheelchairs.
But how does that work?
I haven't quite worked out all the details yet, but it will be tragic and inspiring. People will cry when they watch this movie.
Oh, I bet they will. Who's producing it?
Well, I'm shopping it around to producers right now.
Good luck with that. Those people, they're the real vampires.
I do have a few pages done. Would you like to take a look?
Nah, I got a pretty exclusive agreement with the shot putter.
Oh.
Besides, chicklet, it's just not really our thing. We tried doing a Wonder Woman episode once and ended up in a flame war. Geez, you write one little scene where the Amazons fight in the nude and boom, whole internet's mad at you. I mean, it's just audio, for God's sake.
What do you mean?
Well, audio. No one really cares about this stuff, Gary.
What? Didn't you just come all the way to Minnesota just to get an audio award?
My attorney has advised me not to tell anyone why I came to Minnesota. But if I did come to get an audio award, it's not because I care about radio drama.
What?
Seriously, you care about this crap?
Well, yeah. Don't you?
Shepard, I'm only after these awards get my work noticed. I want to make cinema. I want to be a producer, understand? The audio, that's just a way to get through the back door. Hey, you know why I actually started this to begin with?
Why?
A friend of mine told me he used to read his screenplays onto a CD so that the producers and the agents, they could listen to them on the way home from work. Ridiculous traffic in L.A., you know. So I thought, hey, why not go one step further?
So you're only doing audio to break into the movies?
Of course.
One question.
Yeah?
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, I don't know. Just a couple of years. Oh, yeah, it was right after 9/11, I think, because I had this great story where Batman catches Osama bin Laden. I knew the studios would be all over that.
9/11 was 13 years ago,
Like,
Cobalt.
like I said, just getting started. Look, I'm sorry if I got a little out of control, kid.
That's okay.
It's like this fifth straight award thing. That was going to be a great hook. Had the ad and variety and everything. I lost my head. Hey, no hard feelings?
No. No hard feelings.
You know, Bill's going to be back tomorrow morning. I think I'll just go sleep in my car tonight. Start back at first light. I got to start recording Dracula in a week.
Are you sure you don't want to look at my screenplay?
A screenwriter from Minnesota? Oh, dream on, Toots. You got to be where the action is or you'll never get anywhere. See you later, losers.
Well, he wasn't very nice at all. And screenwriters can too come from Minnesota. The Coen brothers did.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor guy?
Have you ever met anyone more delusional?
You really want me to answer that?
Okay. I'm delusional too, but at least I believe in what I'm doing. He treats it like a stepping stone, but he's been stuck on the same rock for 13 years. It's just so sad.
Ha!
What?
I looked it up on my phone. Bakersfield is 106 miles from Hollywood. Might as well be on the moon.
Yeah, he might as well be. Glory? Okay if I keep doing Black Mass Theater here for the time being?
You still have a sponsor?
As far as I know.
Then I don't care. It is a half hour we don't have to fill after all.
That it is.
You look like you've come to a decision.
I think so. We do tell good stories, don't we?
Mostly.
Well, with that glowing endorsement, let's see if we can tell better ones. Get a little better each time. Maybe pick up a few more awards. Maybe if I can do that and sell a few CDs along the way so it's not completely for naught, maybe that'll be enough.
That's always been my philosophy.
Really?
One thing, though. What actually did happen to your plaque?
You don't suppose he actually stole it after all, do you?
Hello? QICE?
I don't know.
Gary, it's for you. It's Bill.
Okay.
Lock up when you're done, will you? I don't want to be disturbed until the dawn. The muse is upon me.
I will tread lightly, O Lady of the Airwaves.
Lady of the... Hey, that gives me an idea for a radio play.
Of course it does. Hello, Bill.
Hey, kid. I'm going to be home in a few hours, and I wanted to call ahead and make sure you haven't messed up my spot.
Messed up your what?
My spot. I saw that award you won, but you put it in the wrong place.
Bill, what are you talking about?
The award wall. You took up a spot on that wall I've had reserved for 15 years.
Wait a minute. Did you steal my award?
Steal? Of course not. I just took it down and put it in Shelley's filing cabinet. It's under A.
Check Shelley's filing cabinet for the plaque.
What? Why?
Well, Bill says he took it down. Go check it out.
Okay.
Why did you take it down, Bill?
Well, because, kid, that spot is reserved for Lord Byron.
Oh, here it is.
I've been wanting to mount that trout and put him up there for over a decade. And with all due respect to your little award, he deserves that place of honor.
Does that mean you caught him?
No, not this year. Oh, but a man's got a dream, right? Leave that spot open so I can fantasize about the day when that big, ugly fish will finally be mine.
You know, I think I understand what you mean. We'll find another place for my plaque.
Appreciate it, kid. Hey, how did my substitute work out?
Not too bad. He got glory writing screenplays.
That should keep her out of our hair for a little bit. Otherwise, he was okay?
He was inspiring, Bill.
Well, I hope he wasn't too good.
Nope. I think he was just about right.
This has been QICE Radio North. And the winner is written and directed by Jeffrey Adams. Your cast this evening featured
Karen Schickel as Lynn.
Jim Yunt as Gary.
Ayla McIntosh as Glory.
Diane Adams as Sherry.
and Jeff Adams as Riley Cobalt. Oh, also, coming to us via transcription, Tom Bement as Just Plain Bill. Sound effects were by Dave Irwin and Piran Irwin. Want to let everyone know that we're going to take a little break, just about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll be back with a Q&A. We have some questions. Give us a call, or send us a text, I should say, to 218-283-5570. Cast and crew is going to stick around, and we will be happy to answer your questions then on YouTube and also on Mixlr. This has been the Bundled Up Theater Festival. Remember, we're back on the air at 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. You are listening to the Bundled Up Theater Festival from the Icebox Radio Theater. We are in intermission right now, but we'll be back with more great live radio drama in just a few moments.
The wishing well won't take no dimes for change. I've been throwing pockets in the water since the day you went away, and I just can't believe there's nothing left of me, of who I used to be. You should have let me go. Whoa, 'cause I don't know who I am anymore. 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 I don't know.
All of a sudden that song going out.
Where it goes. Okay, got it off?
Red lentils.
Are we here?
Don't lock the come and sit down.
I think we're here. Are we getting a signal? I'm not even sure we're getting a signal.
The tall one in
Tiny
front.
stool.
Oh,
I'm obscuring everybody
Everyone on
from view.
television, if you can hear us, wave. You only mic for this, man.
Try again if we didn't see you.
Wave louder.
Where am I? Am I even in the shot?
You should be.
You want to sit? Yeah, I can see you're there.
Where's 5? Yeah, I'm there. Hi, everybody. This is the cast and crew of the Bundled Up Theater Festival.
Dave, you're back.
Hope some of you are, in fact, watching. Now, we invited people that supported us on Kickstarter to send questions. But first of all, we should, introduce ourselves so that everyone knows who we be. Because, we have a lot of listeners, and they might never have seen us before. So starting right there, who are you?
Do we have a lot of listeners?
Yeah, we have a lot of,
My
a lot
name
of
is
listeners.
Ayla McIntosh.
Cody Boyer.
Vicki Olson.
Jim Yunt.
Diane Adams.
Karen Schickel.
I'm Dave Irwin.
Hiding behind Jim.
I'm Peter Irwin.
And this is Q&A. Again, it's 218-283-5570 if you want to text something real quick. But first question, and this is one you guys are going to have to handle because I can't answer it. During rehearsals, how much input do the actors have in making changes in the script? Or to the script, I should say.
I want to say they make more changes during the show than they do during rehearsal.
No comment.
That's been known to happen.
Because we can get away with it then.
That's right.
No.
I think it's kind of like with Jeff writing a lot of this stuff. He doesn't always catch the continuity of things, so it's like one with a fresh ear, maybe.
Are you trying? No, I know exactly what you're trying to say.
Like if there's something that you aren't picking up on.
It's like proofreading your own
Yeah,
work.
basically.
Yeah.
Vicki Olson is in charge of grammatical and typographical errors.
She's our
Just
grammar
errors in
expert.
general. Finding them out.
I found a misplaced apostrophe in the QICE script.
Now I will take any criticism.
Amazons.
Amazons?
Yes. Amazons apostrophe S.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
that's
naked Amazons.
Apostrophic.
Naked Amazons what? You might ask. With that
Naked Amazons. Yeah, it was implied. The possessive was implied. The possessive of those Amazons was implied. Well, I will say, and I was telling someone this just the other day, Vicki, you make me a better writer because while I'm there typing away, your voice is in my head.
Vicky,
urging me on.
The correct
Woman is in my head.
It's out of my head.
Mr. Clippy.
But you do well. We've never talked about that. You guys feel free to suggest changes, right? No one's
Obviously.
Yeah. No one's there going, "Oh, that tyrant."
No one said, "Oh, please, sir, can we not just change it to whom?"
Can all the characters be cats?
Oh, hey, one for Dave.
All right.
And Dave and Pierre in the sound effects department. How do you decide when to use recorded effects and when to use in-studio or prop effects?
That usually has much to do with the complexity of the sound effect. It's pretty hard to make the sound of an airplane going over and somebody walking through the bush and a bird singing all with 2 people. So pre-recording it and then having Pierre push that button at the right time, much easier.
But it's would you say cue by cue?
Cue by cue, yes.
We are figuring that out.
And we sometimes we produce the sound effects at home, and then we mail them over to Jeff, and then we put them into the mix, and then we can push the button, and we get the sound we need.
I don't really have a decision in the whole process. In fact, half the time...
Would you like one?
No. I think I'm good where I am. Half
Okay.
the time, we do the rehearsal, and I've never even heard the script before. So I'm like, hey, that's really funny.
We should mention, though, the new system, this is for you kids watching at home, I want to get into radio drama, putting the cue or putting the audio file right in the script so you can be reading along and just click. Did that work?
Yes, that worked fairly well.
That was an innovation we did this time.
Good
Sound effects cue. Hey, okay, actors, what other acting, stage, film, etc. do the IBRT actors do? Present tense, but I suppose past tense works as well.
Very limited. This is a really small town.
Yeah. It's not like there's a theater district in the falls. I have done a couple of stage plays and some musical stuff. Does roller derby count? I did roller derby a couple times.
It counts. It counts.
You faking to try and get calls from the ref? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
So I do some of my own personal acting at home in the shower, but only with the curtain drawn.
I've done acting from junior high, senior high, community theater. But yeah, not since we moved up here. No, we did have a really nice play though. The kind of the history of Coochin County set as a musical, which seems not workable, but it was tremendously workable. And there was, I think, several of us were involved in that.
Yeah, it was a fantastic piece.
Yeah. But there's not a lot available up here, and I mean, if you wanted to be involved in Duluth or anything, we're a 3-hour drive from Duluth. You don't just bop over there for the evening,
Nobody's from just outside of town.
No.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough, yes, but let's see, Ayla, you were at least involved in a film project.
I was a docudrama about a true murder that happened in my hometown of Fort Francis, which should be out sometime this summer, I believe.
There we go. So that was directly adjacent.
Submit it to the film festival.
Yes.
Okay.
We have our own film festival.
Oh, there you go.
Diane, we have our own film festival, right?
Yep.
Which is called and when is it? So.
On the Edge Film Festival, the last Thursday of January.
And you can go to the iFalls Library website, and there's some information there, right? So yes, I know it seems really small, but I've lived in a lot of small towns, and this one actually has a fair amount going on, because there's a brand new troupe starting right now called
Borealis Bards.
Yes, and they're going to start off with a Renaissance festival, which
Doug Screef gave us a great history at the beginning of Borealis Bards, which started roughly 3 months ago with 2 meetings, and he gave a great history of the ebb and flow of theater in Coochin County, and it was pretty interesting, pretty inspiring. It's been going on for a while, so maybe we're on a little bit of a resurgence of theater up here in our little community. Certainly fun.
I really hope so, because when we started the IBRT in 2004, and at that time the Rainy Lake Players had just kind of well and truly shut down. So our timing was perfect, because there was a lot of people that still enjoyed theater but no place to do anything. Tom Bement, for example, who appeared via transcription in this show, QICE, he built about every set they did at the Rainy Lake Players, which part of the time was at the college and part of the time was in the Rainier Community Building. So we have a great heritage, and hopefully that will be coming back. Okay, a last question. Any particularly memorable fluffs during IBRT live shows or broadcasts? Live shows, he specified.
The time the window didn't break was a good we had this window. Minnie Billings was supposed to, she had fallen and was trying to attract somebody's attention, and the neighbor was outside. She could hear them mowing her lawn. But she was supposed to throw a book through the window to break, and we had this box all set up with a window pane, and I had a hammer, and somebody suggested that maybe just a metal hammer on the glass would sound too metallic, so they suggested putting a glove or something over the hammerhead. And then, here's Minnie, and she's like, "Oh, I'll have to lob my Bible out the window." And she goes, "Eh." And then I just kind of went thunk, 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 whipped the glove off, smash! It was so embarrassing.
That Bible toss was more of a change-up. It was floating up there for quite a while.
Yeah, she was throwing several volumes. There's the King James, Mormon Bible.
The message finally did it after the. I think when we do studio work, which is pre-recorded, I think that's a lot of fun. But then we sort of, I don't say we aim to make bloopers, but when something happens, if you're a member of the theater, you can go to the special members content, and there's a ton of blooper reels. Some of them lasting like 4 minutes.
Because we don't shut up.
Yeah. We got off on a toot. The last one was a QICE. Remember Jack Daniels weenies on QICE?
I don't remember Jack Daniels weenies. Was there actual Jack Daniels involved?
Yes.
It was the one where you were playing a FCC rep who came in.
I got drunk.
Oh, that's right.
Jack Daniels
On cocktail weenies.
on cocktail
Drunk on
weenies.
cocktail weenies.
Jack Daniels weenies.
Yes,
Whiskey
I remember that now.
infused cocktail weenies.
And I think at one point I offered up she's 3 weenies to the wind. And that was it. We were gone for like 4 minutes.
There was a lot of wiener humor
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
We've learned to very much enjoy our errors during the studio work, but definitely have to adapt when it's live. I made probably at least a dozen minor little errors during tonight's performance, and you gotta totally switch modes to totally blow through it if it's your own, or if it's someone else's. Jeff was doing something strange over there while I was making one of my errors.
What
I couldn't tell if you were laughing at me or doing your own little thing, but
I was kind of acting a little bit.
almost went off the rails, but I managed not to.
Well, we had the bit today where Mr. Boynton has to do spit takes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in rehearsal we tried me actually spitting like into a screen. It just didn't sound right. Those are hard. Have you ever tried to do a spit take?
takes? No,
They're
they have
hard.
to be.
So we said, okay, well, Jim sounded fine with just going. And I realized when we got to that point, we hadn't really talked about it.
I saw like 20 seconds before I did it, Jeff was taking a sip out of a cup. I was like, that's a little premature, but okay. But the cup was nowhere near him when it was actually time to happen, so I was prepared. But.
Well, folks, these folks have worked very hard today, and we've kept them late. If you want to, go ahead and email questions home@iceboxradio.org. Specifically, specify someone, and we will happily answer it. Remember, tomorrow, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's science fiction, and daylight savings time.
Spring ahead.
Don't forget to lose that hour of sleep.
Unless you're in British Columbia.
Or Nebraska. There's like 3 states.
Or Atikokan.
Isn't Arizona?
Or Atikokan.
Atikokan,
The city of Atikokan, Ontario, does not recognize.
Surely you know whether it applies to you.
Running to the news tonight.
Well, thank you for watching this episode of Time Zones Today. Once again, more radio drama tomorrow at 3. Wave goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye,
to the 4
everybody.
people.
Ta-ta.
Yeah. And I don't have an engineer, so I have to
So
and you do this.
Fade to black.
And